Hi everyone, I'm Darcy Backyard with Prairie Public, and today's quick chat is some great 3 through 5 resources from PBS Learning Media. If you are joining the chat live, I've posted the link into our chat box so you can find any of the resources there. You can link to this page that I'm looking at right now. If you're watching the recording, the link to this video is in the video description. So you can click on that and then have easy access to all of the resources I'm going to share. The resource sheet is also available at this bit.ly address. So first, welcome. Thanks for joining in this morning. PBS Learning Media is a free resource, a store-all location for all things PBS. So if you need some help learning how to use the resource itself, there's this Learning Media 101 video link. So you can click on this link and it will give you a crash course overview of how to use PBS Learning Media. Do note that this fall, Learning Media is going to undergo a redesign. So it may look different if you're looking at it in September compared to what it looks like today when I'm recording this video in August. The searchability will be very similar, the collections will be there, but it may look different. There are a few other just general tools here. If you are a Schoology school, you can integrate Learning Media into your Schoology account. There are some content recommendation slides here curated by my colleague Nikki Vredenberg, and a lesson builder tool. Again, a little video on how to use some of the tools inside Learning Media. Today, we're really going to focus on just some of the great resources. The resource sheet is divided into general subjects. So there are some social studies resources, some reading support, some math. We've got a STEAM collection as well as general science collections. And then all the way at the bottom are some other resources. Don't let this title fool you. There's some good stuff in here, including some nice collections about all of the holidays. This collection features videos and activity sheets about all the different holidays. So you can click through the fall holidays, and then it has different resources for back to school, Rosh Hashanah, and the holidays that students would be hearing about. But what a great way to explore other cultures. It's not just the predominant traditional American holidays. You can see in here, you can explore some of the different fall holidays that are going on in addition to, say, Halloween. So a little bit about Oktoberfest, National Fire Prevention Week. Everything is in here to help you explore and enrich the cultural awareness of your students on what's going on for holidays. Another collection that I love that's down here in the other resources is this Full-Time Kid resource. This is a fun little collection where she explores different projects and activities that an 8-year-old can do. So the child making the videos is 8, and she does different arts and crafts videos. So I love this. She has a DIY ninja costume. So there's the little description of how to make your own ninja costume. And then there's a little video. They're all pretty short, a couple minutes. And she talks about how to make your own ninja video. She also has some snack recipes as well as science experiments. So just a fun resource if kids have extra time in class, maybe some activities to send home on long weekends, some things to keep kids active and learning and thinking creatively, even when they're not in the classroom. Also down here are some great resources on helping students build their social emotional skills as well as character development. So there's a kindness, empathy, and resiliency collection of different resources designed to help children explore their emotions and make connections with each other. I also recommend the AIM Buddy project, which uses Arthur as a way to talk about social emotional help. You'll see within here, there's a full educator's guide a step-by-step how you might use this curriculum in your classroom. So some activities, lesson plans, things that you can obviously modify and adjust to your needs. But all of the videos, everything that you need is right here. And then you'll see there's also the classroom media tab. And this is where you'll find all of the videos. So again, you could use this as a full curriculum. You could use this as part of stations. You could use this as a focus of the month. You know, this month we're going to be talking about empathy and what that means. So you might use this video just to kick off that lesson and that journey, and then use other resources, other stories, other videos, other examples that students bring in about what empathy looks like. But the video is here for you, and then you can launch this whole collection of exploring empathy. So that's the AIM Buddy collection. And I think that that will be the Buddy project. That will be a good tool for a lot of you as you start back to school. And how do we talk to kids about some of these challenging issues? I'm going to go back all the way up to the top now and hit some of the key content. So under the social studies, there are a couple things. There's so many great resources on PBS Learning Media. They're all free. They're all available for you to stream. Some of the resources are even available so you can download them to your computer. So you don't have to worry about internet accessibility. And if the Wi-Fi is working today, you can download the video before class and then have that ready to go to play. That's not true because of copyright for all of the videos, but a lot of them you can download right to your computer and then be able to play. Or again, download it to a couple of iPads and have that video as part of a station that students watch that video and complete an activity as part of a station rotation. Under social studies, I want to show you this news quiz. This is a short, it's a weekly news program designed for 4th through 8th graders that covers current events and has a built-in quiz that the news reporter goes through the questions throughout the video. It will start airing again in September. So there aren't any videos from the summer. There's nothing here for August, but if you stay tuned, it will return the beginning of September. The newscaster they are 15 minutes, short weekly overviews of things that are going on in the news. So the newscaster will introduce a story, and then as the story is wrapping up, she will also ask students a couple of built-in questions. They're multiple choice questions, and the questions come from what was just discussed on the news. And so within this video, there are some questions about what holiday is coming up at the end of May, how often are members of the House of Representatives elected. There's talk about the active Hawaiian volcano. So they're very simple questions. They're just recall questions, but they're built into the quiz, built into the video, so you could use this as part of class. You could skip these quiz sections if you didn't want to watch these. And you could certainly pause the quiz, and instead of having the news show, instead of having students answer the quiz in their paper, pause and have little discussions about these topics. What else have you heard about the volcanoes going on in Hawaii? So a great way to bring a piece of news into the classroom that's already short, it's designed for students, there's nothing gory or inappropriate for the classroom. So a quick, simple resource there. For any of you who are teaching North Dakota studies, I want you to know about the Great States resource as well as the North Dakota and Minnesota regional studies. This Great States collection is put together on resources to explore the history of some great states. And we are lucky that North Dakota is one of those states that has a featured collection. So as you go through this Great States collection, you will see that there's this little introductory video that introduces you to North Dakota and North Dakota studies. As you look on the left, you will see that under North Dakota, all of these additional resources have now popped up. So you can pick and choose any of these resources that fit your needs. You can pick any of these resources, even if you're not teaching North Dakota studies. If you are teaching about geography in general science class, why not pull in some resources that explore the specific geography, the 3 geographical regions of North Dakota, and tie this local content into your curriculum as you're talking about these general topics. So as you're talking about agriculture, bring in some resources that are specific to North Dakota. There's information from cultural connections in North Dakota, the Native American cultures who are native to North Dakota, early exploration, just a lot of great content that would help you explore North Dakota history, climate, geography, and economics within the state. In addition, there's this Minnesota, North Dakota Regional Studies collection, and this features a lot of additional resources that were produced by Prairie Public and Pioneer Television in Minnesota. So again, organized on the left into different subtopics, and when you click the plus button, you'll see these additional resources that you can explore the places of this region. And then each of these is a little short video that takes you to the headwaters of the Mississippi and Itasca State Park. You'll notice that a lot of these are 2.5-minute long videos. They're 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. This is really ideal for young learners. The research I've read says that on average, you want about 1 minute per grade level is about what students can handle for analyzing a video. So that 15-minute video that we talked about for the daily news might be a little long, but if you're breaking it up with discussion, now you're breaking it up into the 3 to 5 minute chunks that are appropriate for a student's attention span. So this video at 3 minutes is perfect for a 3rd grader to watch a 3-minute video, and certainly would be easy for a 4th, 5th, or 6th grader. So all of those resources are under the Minnesota and North Dakota Regional Studies. You can also dive into this Lewis and Clark collection that uses their original journals to explore their expedition. And if your students like explorers, check out the World Explorers collection. This is a great collection that has videos, lesson plans, and it has Google Earth voyage stories. So you can look at this global exploration, and Google Earth is tracked so students can see the actual path as someone was journeying through that story. There is one for Lewis and Clark that takes you through the Google map for Lewis and Clark. And when you launch the adventure, it will take you to Google Earth, and then students can see stop by stop where Lewis and Clark journeyed. At each stop, you could certainly tag in additional resources about what is that place like now. So here's the Lewis and Clark journey. You can see they start, and we need to click Discover, and it will take us to where they start in Google Maps. And we can use this as a starting point to really track the journey of Lewis and Clark. The videos are right here built in by the maps. So it's a much more interactive way to explore these journeys. In addition to Lewis and Clark, you can see that they also have explorers. They have things for the Vikings exploring. They have some resources, the Age of Encounter. If you go back to explore the videos, You can see that they've got stuff on Eric the Red and Leif Erikson, Marco Polo, a lot of famous explorers. And certainly you can tie this with some additional resources from the North Dakota and Minnesota Regional Studies Collection to talk about who were the people who were already here. We talk about these explorers who discovered things, but we also know that there were already people living there that didn't need to discover anything. They already knew about this region. So what a nice way to balance some regional studies and look at local stories from our local Native American cultures and match that into the stories of these explorers. So that is the World Explorers collection here. That's where you'll find the Google Earth interactive maps and videos about those different expeditions. Since we're looking at collections, I also want to share that Learning Media does have different types of media posted. So far, I've shown you a lot of different videos, but there are also some photo collections. And I think these are really stunning because I think it's important to help students know that they need to learn how to read any type of text. So even if you're reading an image, that is a type of reading. So I always use the verb, let's read this image. So this collection is a world religions collection, and it just has different images in it. But what a quick way to fill time. If you have 5 minutes before the bell rings or 5 minutes before lunch, why not throw up an interesting picture and ask students to read it? What do you see? What is the composition of the photo? Where might this photo be located? What clues do we have about who these people are and what they might be interested in? Certainly, you can use it as a launching pad to talk about world religions and to talk about different cultures, but you can also use these photo images, photos of animals, photos of nature, photos from the local community, photos that students bring in from their travels, and as a class, build some basic inquiry skills on what do we see and what questions do we have. This could also be a great way to launch some research projects. What are the questions that we have about what's going on in this photo? Or put together a series of a couple of photos, partner that photo with this photo that's titled 3 Novice Monks Reading a Book. Partner a couple photos together and use that natural conversation that students have about what's going on, what do you notice, what do you see, and use these photos to jump into a student research project. So 3 to 5 interesting photos could really help pull students in, capture their attention, and help you launch a lesson or an inquiry unit that you're exploring in any given topic. I also love showing photos, showing art, listening to music, and not telling students the name of that piece of art. So ask them to read this photo first and have a conversation, and then reveal to them the title of this photo is called 3 Novice Monks. And how does that title change your interpretation? How does that new information change your reading of this photo text? There's also, if you love Ken Burns and you love his documentary work, I've put here, this is the Teaching History and Culture with Ken Burns. This is the quickest link to access all of the videos that are available by Ken Burns for use in your classroom. So again, on the left, you can see the names of the different documentaries, and the clips that are available for you to use in your classroom are all connected right there. So you don't need to worry about filters that might block YouTube or other sources of media in your classroom. If you want to bring Ken Burns and his documentaries in, it's right there. Some great reading resources. The Electric Company brings me back to my childhood, but as old as those videos may feel to us, the content of Electric Company is great. When you go to that collection, again, you will see you've got full episodes here. So if you wanted to use a full episode, you could. I'm going to encourage you in general, that's not something you're going to do. You're going to focus on some of the specific skills. Note, they do have a professional development tab of some additional resources to help you learn more about how to teach these skills. But you can go into the English language learners and you're going to find the specific lesson, you're going to find the specific video that you want to use. You know what type of resource it is by looking at the icon over here. So this is a text resource, not a video, but you can scroll down and see in general the different types of resources that are available. If you want to just find something, PBS Learning Media works like a search engine. So you can type in a topic and you can reduce your search by grade level. I do recommend typing in at least one grade level below and 1 or 2 grade levels above what you actually teach and get that information. The material may have been designed for 6th graders in mind, for instance, but there's no reason that you wouldn't be able to adapt and use the video or some of the supporting resources with 3rd graders, but in a different way that fits your needs. You can search by subject. You can also reduce by the type of media that you want to find. I usually just leave on all types and then I get a wide variety. And then it works, like I said, just like a search engine. You've got your grade levels. You can always reduce your search and you can focus on, you want to look at just the videos on robots that are also connected to mathematics. So you can always filter your search over here on the left. That's how it's structured right now. As I mentioned, there's some redesign happening in September, so it might look different as you go forward. We've got some math information and then some great STEAM and science collections. I'm going to show you this design squad and then we'll wrap up, but there's all kinds of great STEAM activities, but the design squad activities are organized by general concept. So if you're looking at electricity, there will be a couple of activities that you can make, and this gives you the step-by-step instructions on how to make that activity. One of the other things that I love about learning media, let's say you did this activity in school today. Now again, this is an activity, you're going to launch this and it's going to take you to a built-in video. You can share, let's say you do this in class, or you watch an empathy video in class, or you look at an image. You can share that resource that you looked at in class several different ways and share it home. So you can certainly just send an email, you can grab the link, and you can throw it into whatever communication system you have with parents. If you are a Google school, you can click on the Google Classroom icon and you can choose which class you want to share this to, and you can create your assignment right here from PBS Learning Media. And now the resource that you want kids to use is right there. It's already in your Google Classroom. You just give them their instructions. You can also use Remind. If you don't have Remind, I strongly recommend it. I used Remind at the high school level, and it was the best resource for me because I found that teenagers did not check email, and a lot of parents preferred getting short text reminders as well. So you click on the Remind button, and now I can choose who I want to receive this. You would choose from your class list, and I can type a little message that today we learned how does a solenoid work. So now, whatever you learned in school that day, if you had a media resource, you can shoot it home to parents. You can also attach a file if there was a homework sheet, if there was a picture that you took in class of the kids doing this work. You could attach that photo. You could attach an assignment sheet. Now you can send this home and ask parents to talk about that same resource. In addition, you could use that to help flip your classroom through the Google Classroom or through Remind. Text that link home and say, over the weekend, if you have time, watch this. You could use it for enrichment activities of this week. We've been talking about electricity. If you have time, here's an extra resource for you as parents to explore this concept at home with your learners, and send that home. So I also like Learning Media because there are a couple easy built-in tools that help you connect with parents and students and help you expand the learning from the classroom back at home. And we know that every time those students have an additional interaction and that reinforcement of the concepts that you learned in school, we know that that's just going to deepen and strengthen their learning. So that's PBS Learning Media, and just a tiny taste of some of the amazing resources available, all for free for 3rd through 5th grades. Check out the resource sheet, check out the area where you might want to have a little bit more support from digital media in the classroom, and think of different ways that you might use this media. So how are you going to use it? Are you going to use it as a video to spark for the whole class? Is this going to be a flipped classroom activity? Will a video or an image be part of a station rotation? Will this be something that you use at the end of a unit to wrap up conversation? How will you use these digital media tools and resources in your classroom to really hook kids and help deepen their content understanding? As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at dbakigard@prairiepublic.org, or check me out and message me on Twitter. I'm at dbakigard. And until we see you next time, enjoy as you're getting ready for this school year, and have a great year.